Hi, this is Mary Jo Ryder.
Hey, Mike here, and we're back with Derek and Kaylee.
We,
Hey.
Hello.
we
What's
decided
up,
to
guys?
extend the visit to another time.
We extended the vacation. We extended their vacation.
I don't think I'd call it vacation, but you
Well,
know.
you never know. They
Feels
might
like a
be.
vacation
Out here
when we
it
don't have
is.
our kids.
Well, that too. It's quieter.
So last time, Derek and Kaylee shared where they, kind of how they started doing things God's way, and started moving towards, again, being at that position of operating debt-free. And we were just sharing a little bit before we hit the record button about budgeting, and none of us really care for that word too much. It just kind of has a negative connotation, so we changed it to spending plan. Tell your money where to go, tell it what to do.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But
Well, utilize a plan,
yeah.
and we all probably have things that we can share about what financial plan that we have decided on.
Oh, yeah. Well, what we do, one of the things that we do, and we find great liberty in this, and even when we still had a mortgage, we did this. Every month, a certain amount of money goes towards all the things that we know we have to do: homeowners insurance, car insurance, tags, all those, life insurance, all that stuff that we know we're going to have to pay, that a lot of times for a lot of people, when that time comes and that bill comes in the mail, it's freak out time because we don't have the money to pay for it.
Right.
Yep.
So we just go, oh, okay, this came in, money's in, transfer, boom, go, done.
Because it's
Continue,
pre-planned.
Yeah.
So, every
It's already
month we take
pre-planned.
out the divided.
Property taxes.
Yeah, we take out the amount that we need, you
I ain't gonna
break
lie,
it down
man.
and you just put it in the bank right away.
Right. Yeah. And you just do it. And we have some put aside for income tax because when I was running my training company, we paid in every year because, it was a self-employment tax thing. So we just put money aside for that. But yeah, so spending plans, actually, they're not a bad thing. And we were talking about a little bit about where in the Bible does it really say that? Well, you could look at the parable of the unjust steward. You could look at the, you could look at honoring the Lord with your substance. Honoring the Lord really isn't just riotous living. Even go back to the parable of the prodigal son. You don't waste what you have on riotous living. You're smart with what you do and what you spend and how you spend it. So
talk a little bit about what you guys were thinking about with a budget.
yeah,
I'm
and
not
what happened?
opposed to the word.
You were
as a
talking
budget.
about what happened. Starting, was it this year? Yeah, because we were talking about prayer and fasting, and it's just kind of interesting. When we started the podcast, one of the big things that we started with was prayer and fasting.
Yep.
And you guys were doing the same thing that we were with Jonathan. He was teaching on prayer and fasting, and we're like, we need to do that.
Right.
And we set our faces like flint together. And it was really cool having that accountability with each other,
Yeah,
and just
that was
being able to encourage each other in that,
Yep.
in that whole process. That was really cool. And then we're sitting here talking about it. Yeah, we're kind of feeling like it's time to call another fast and do some more fasting. Really? Yeah.
Us too.
Yeah.
Us too.
Yep.
Yeah, how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yep. So that's, I think that's just fun when God connects us together like that. So anyway, it sounds like some pretty amazing things happened when we had our prayer and fasting time at the beginning of the year. Pretty amazing things happened for you guys. Why don't you share a little bit about that?
Oh, that was a big turning point, I think, for so many things. And that's essentially, like you said, this kind of started the podcast for you guys to an
Yeah.
extent. So you look at all the things that have come from those teachings, which,
Oh boy.
I mean, when you sent me, because I didn't know who Jonathan Charlesworth was at all.
Right.
We had heard the name somehow through church because he was going to be coming and whatnot.
Right.
But other than that, I didn't know. So when you sent me that, hey, this is the guy who's coming, I listened to it and I was like, I don't know, it clicked. And I'm like, man, there's something with this guy that I'm really digging. So I just dug in, and then I started showing her, and I don't know, we just
just ran with
really
it.
just started going. And so, when we just started the fast essentially a week or two after you guys did, because it was
Right.
kind of like the trail that we were on with it,
Right.
a little behind you guys. So, yeah, just profound in so many ways. Like just, you know, because the idea of fasting I've looked at through different, I guess I would say intermittent fasting,
Right.
just doing like a different eating window or whatever, and
Sure.
seeing the benefits of the mental and the health side of it and whatever. So that was something I was familiar with, but like doing it for a spiritual reason was
Right.
completely new to me. So like learning through his teachings about it and like how to apply it and everything it was really cool. So I was digging in and just chewing on that for a long time, and we just started doing it. And yeah, there's a lot of things that, you know, you don't realize. You're distracted so many times in a day
Oh boy.
by a lot of things, but food
boy.
is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like, I mean, you think about it, you wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta eat breakfast. Okay, now I'm hungry and I gotta have a snack. You know, and you just go through the day, and that kind of dictates your day to a big extent. And so like getting rid of that distraction in and of itself is huge. So then what do you do at that time? Like, you
Right.
do the right thing with that time. And so like for me, we were still living in Brandon. And this, you know, I'm just like feeling on cloud nine, like mentally just so much out of my mind. So I would sit in my car and I would listen to the Charles Earth messages and just spend that time in the Word. And I would literally be like taking notes, like sitting in my car by myself for my hour lunch.
Right.
And just, I don't know. And there's just so many things that would come to me, so much revelation that would come through all of that I don't know that I would have got any other way, or, you know, because it took away the distractions. It allowed me to focus.
Sure. Yeah.
And to
so-
see it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that, and I mean,
Yeah,
Could
we
go
just
back
had
to a lot of
testimony
things.
after testimony during those few days. Even in the first few days of our fasting and the prayer and fasting time. I mean, we got moved here in that time. We found a place. We had health things. We've had business things. Everything has just skyrocketed
Yeah.
from that moment of starting, and it was within days of
Right.
of their first days of prayer and fasting. So
Because you guys set your face like flint and
Yeah.
reached out and plugged into God, and He's like, "Ooh, look at that!
I see you. No.
I see you."
But it yeah, no, it changed a lot. And like,
Yeah.
it changed not only, I don't know, like financially, it changed because I think it gave us a different light on giving too. And that
Sure.
was like a big thing that, you know, thought we were plugging in enough and doing what, you know, but we didn't really have the exact numbers. And
we
you
were
know,
doing
just,
like our tithe, but there was a lot less of the offering. And, you know, that extra giving that can bring in so much more when you're
Right.
just doing it with an open heart and like,
well, and it changed the heart attitude of giving too. So I
Yes.
think giving your tithe is super important. So like kind of the question that you asked in the last one, I mean, the budget is probably the number one thing for anyone, because then you're telling your money where to go, but that only can get you so far. And when you
Right.
add the tithe in there and you're doing that, but you're doing it with an open heart.
Yeah.
So that changes. So like I think that changed our heart on giving, because we
That's
were doing
awesome.
it, but it was because we were supposed to do it. Or,
Sure.
you know, we were taught that
not
and we
always
believed
that,
it.
but just not always expecting like huge reward from it. And now we're kind of like going in and saying, okay, we're going to give this much and we're expecting that in return. You know, we're expecting that return to us rather than just giving our tithe and our offering.
And just saying, okay.
Yep. Just
Yeah.
accepting it
Yeah. Well, and
and paying attention to it.
Right.
Because
Sure.
sometimes you get comfortable and you have something happen where you get something big and you don't always play it back to, this could have been because I gave this offering or
Right.
gave this gift or gave,
Right.
you don't always,
Or
that sowing
mindful
and
See the
reaping.
correlation.
You don't see it. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
you're realizing like, oh wow, this is actually a blessing, versus like, oh cool, there's money. You know, just paying
Yeah.
attention to it more.
Yeah.
So
When you
we've just been getting plugged in, and just one little thing, our church is doing this debt payoff right now, and we're like, we're going to plug into that, and we are for sure going to go in. So what's your number? And our number was the same again, just like it was with our house.
We've done that. Isn't that just
Yeah.
amazing?
It is.
Yeah.
And so we said, okay, we're going to do that. And this is on top. So we know our money's going. These are numbers that definitely are a reach for what we should.
Praise God.
It's more than what we bring in. So we
Well,
need to.
And where that came from was when Dr. Barclay was
Dr.
here.
Barclay, yeah.
He kind of, I don't know, he said something to the extent of, don't look at this like trying to add it to your budget, basically. Like, don't try to add
Right.
this to your budget because then you're going to start cutting your food down and all these things.
Yeah.
Be believing. So plant a seed today, which
Mm-hmm.
is kind of what, so I guess there's another thing I'm thinking of that I have to say is before we even knew that the church was doing the debt payoff, I felt, I'm like, we need to, there's a seed. We're going to have to be planting a seed
Like,
here coming
start
up.
thinking about a seed because we're going
Think
to be
about a
planting a
number.
seed soon.
Because we're like, okay, we're paying this car off, we're getting back out of debt, and we're doing all of these things, and we're like, we're going at this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I said, but we've got to plant a seed to just ignite this thing and really get it going. And I just felt that in my spirit for sure. Like, man, there's just something. So I said that to her. I was like, just start thinking. She's like, what do you mean? You know, like, I don't know. And so then we get to church. Was it a Wednesday or?
Yeah.
Well, we were sitting next to each other. Neither of us served that night, and that's when, or that day, whatever it was, and that's when it was introduced. And I'm just like,
Right.
there it is.
There it is.
There's where
We
the
actually
seeds.
like laughed out loud in church. Like, oh, there's our seed
I
that we
think
have
I
to know.
heard that too.
That's where
That's awesome.
the seed's going to be getting planted, and that's where this thing is getting kicked off. So
Yeah.
So in the first month, like this is just, we're 1 month in. So we picked our number. And it was like this supernatural again thing
Yeah.
where we picked this number and
it's a
literally
stretch too. So like
It's a
it's like
stretch.
I'm like, okay,
Big stretch
like
for
to
us.
get this,
it'll be
God's-
supernatural.
ain't nothing
It
but
has to be
God's
faith
done.
and
gotta be involved.
God's hand involved. There's
Yeah,
no way
yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah. So
But we're doing it because this is going to get paid off. Like I'm like we said,
Yeah.
we're just getting this thing.
So we
It's
pick
going.
our number, we write it on the paper, we hang it on the bulletin board because we're not turning it in yet. So it's all checked marked and our names are signed. And I turn around, I go check my work email and I get a contract for that number.
Oh, awesome.
And it's I'm a birth doula. So
Yeah.
usually you have months of working with these families. This family, they hire me with 4 weeks until their birth.
Wow.
At a last minute, they're like, we just decided we needed a doula and you were available. And this is the amount and we're happy with that, even though you're not getting as many prenatals in, like
Sure.
all of it.
Yeah,
And I
normally
was
you
like,
get a lot more like time and
Yeah.
Sure,
commitment
right.
out of it,
And
and
so
it's so short notice.
literally that number is what my contract amount was. So we already had 1 month in advance for what
Oh, man.
our monthly
Yeah, so
contribution
for
is.
July,
Wow.
it wasn't even July, and
That's
we're looking
awesome.
and we're like,
There it is.
there's July. It's not even July yet. So yeah,
Dude,
it's
stuff
just-
like that just gives me a buzz.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
So that was just like on top
That's
of our
just like,
budgeted
wow.
amount, you know,
Right.
it just came to us. We didn't have to work for it. We didn't have to do extra strides or take out another job or sell stuff
Yeah.
to get
Right.
that income to pay for what we were saying our contribution was going to be. So
You guys
That
listen
is
to the Holy
very cool.
Ghost and you're believing God and God showed up.
Yep.
yeah, I
But-
used to say I had a good gut, but now I know, now I know that
Well,
there's a little bit of a Holy Spirit voice in there.
and then think about what you said too, Dee, about giving with the heart. You know, where you're looking in Proverbs and it says, honor the Lord with your substance. You know, I think that's crucial. I think a lot of people miss that personally. And it's
yeah.
just a mechanical, here comes the bucket, drop my check, there goes the bucket type of thing, you
Yeah,
know,
it's-
and they're
you're
not
not
putting any
connecting to
faith
it.
with it.
Yeah.
Right. But you guys are digging in, man. Ooh. Wow.
It's exciting.
It is.
That is good. That
Well,
is
and
good.
it's not even like, I don't know. It's not even like we had to try really. I mean, it was just like we planned
Yeah.
because we gave we did give an amount as our seed initially to get it kicked off, and then that's when this all happened. So we
Yeah.
still did that next step of, you know,
Right.
here's the seed, it's planted in the ground, and bam, it was like instant
Right.
because, but it's like take care of God's house and He'll take care of your house.
Right.
Like that's, you know, and like so when you give and you know that and you understand it, it helps to have experienced it. But
Right.
when you know it through the word, like then you don't think about it. You're not worried about it. You're just like it's done.
Yeah.
it's over. Like let's
And
go. You know,
there's no real concern about it.
and it's funny because now I look at it and I'm like, okay, so if it was that easy, and then how they have it, it's like a certain percentage of what you have pledged to give. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that percent's climbing pretty fast. I'm like, let's just take care of that at 100% really quick, and then just keep,
And just keep
of it
going.
more. Why
Keep
not?
going,
Because
yeah.
then that,
Yeah.
it's just fun because I
And
just have
then-
fun with it. I'm just like, oh, well, okay, cool. Like,
Well, it's fun to see
Yeah.
God doing things
Yeah.
for you, isn't it? And on your behalf, and then through you also. It's fun to see Him. It's just like, God, you're using this, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then what were you and I talking about? About when's it going to be done by? We looked at each other and
Is
what
it
did we say?
December?
What did we say? Christmas.
Christmas.
Okay, I said the end of the year. So.
Did you say the end of the year? Yeah.
They would say, or pastor would say, like, oh, but June or whatever it was of next year. And I
Yeah.
look back, I'm on guitar, you're on drums. I look back to you, and we both say Christmas.
Christmas.
And we laugh. So
We're both like Christmas. Yep.
yep. So that's cool.
That is. You know what? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? If we kind of got in cahoots with some of the church staff. We're like, hey, you know what? God did it, brought it in, it's done. Let's hand the pastor a Christmas card that says Merry Christmas, and inside of it is the mortgage.
That'd be so
And
cool.
a lighter to burn the mortgage. Isn't that what he
Yeah.
said he wanted to do?
Hand him a lighter and say, here you go, brother. Or a blowtorch. Blowtorches are fun. See, I'm a
True.
dude. That's why I love to cook. Is I can use power tools in the kitchen, right? You ever see the one with the dude with the cordless drill and he's peeling an apple with a
Oh, yeah.
cordless drill? Yeah. See, that's the kind of cook I want to be. Right. But, think about what you guys are talking about in Haggai chapter 2, verse 19. Is the harvest of grain any longer in the barn? As to the grapevine, the fig tree, the pomegranate, and the olive tree, they have not yet borne. From this day on, I will bless you. That's because they set their hearts towards the house of God. So yeah. Wow.
That's good stuff.
Drop the mic again. Jeez, you guys, we should keep you around for a month.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we're digging it. Anyway, so yeah, another great time with you guys. We're looking forward to many, many more. And we will say good day for now. Please like, comment, share. Let us know what you're thinking.
Yep, we enjoy that.
Love your questions. Love your thoughts.
Be blessed.
And we will see you next time.